Mithraism, originating from Persia and spread to Europe after Alexander the Great's conquests, Mithraism became a prominent underground religion in the late Roman Empire. Followers worshipped Mithra, the Persian god of the sun and war. This mystery cult featured secret oaths, baptisms, and rituals similar to early Christianity, making them rival subcultures. A key date in Mithraism was December 25th, celebrated as Mithra's birthday. Their most significant ceremonies, stemming from ancient Persian paganism, involved the sacrifice of a white bull, which, according to legend, transformed into the moon. As Christianity rose to dominance, Christian leaders labeled Mithraism as a demonic ripoff, leading to its persecution and eventual disappearance. Had history taken a different turn, Mithra could have been as central to our beliefs today as Jesus is. Catharism. The Cathars were a Christian offshoot with dualist beliefs. They thrived in northern Italy and southern France from the 12th to the 14th centuries, and even despite condemning reproduction, their numbers grew significantly. They called themselves good Christians and believed that an evil god, identified as Satan, ruled the physical world, while a good god took over in the New Testament. Human souls, they believed, were sexless spirits of angels trapped by the evil god. Cathars revered Jesus Christ and adhered to what they saw as his true teachings, but they denied his physical incarnation and resurrection, rejecting the normative Trinitarian doctrine. They viewed women as spiritual equals to men, believed in reincarnation, and practiced pacifism, earning them the nickname Western Buddhists. Catharism was brutally suppressed in a crusade called by Pope Innocent III. This led to the genocide of the Cathars, marking the beginning of the Inquisition. Over the centuries, the church's persecution campaigns resulted in an estimated 300 million deaths. Canaanite religion. The natives of the region between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River had their very own religion. For many years, our only knowledge of their beliefs came from the Torah and the Bible, where the Canaanites were depicted as enemies of the Israelites. But the discovery of Canaanite tablets on the northern coast of Syria provided direct evidence of their polytheistic faith. The Canaanites worshipped numerous deities, with El as the supreme god and Baal, his son, as the god of thunder and rain. Their religious practices included animal sacrifices, veneration of the dead, and worship at shrines or sacred groves. One popular myth involved a battle between Baal and Mot, the god of death, where Baal was defeated, causing a drought. Led by El, the other gods united to rescue Baal. Anat, the goddess of war, then goes to the underworld, slays Mot, and frees Baal. The Canaanite religion significantly influenced neighboring cultures, including the ancient Israelites and Phoenicians. However, it gradually faded due to Israelite conquests and religious pressures, eventually disappearing altogether. Aztec religion. The Aztec religion was polytheistic and pantheistic, centered around the supreme god Ometeotl, along with a diverse pantheon of lesser gods and manifestations of nature. The Aztecs believed that their gods provided for society's needs. Therefore, in the capital Tenochtitlan, their priests dressed up as important deities such as Tlaloc, the god of rain, and Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and the sun, in order to worship them. Aztec rituals heavily emphasized calendars, with festivals, government ceremonies, and even warfare scheduled around key dates. Public rituals included food, storytelling, dance, ceremonial warfare, a unique Mesoamerican ballgame, and human sacrifice. The latter was a significant aspect of Aztec religion, performed on a large scale across the empire to honor the gods. At Tenochtitlan alone, between 10 and 80,000 people were sacrificed over 4 days during major ceremonies. Aztec cosmology divided the world into 13 heavens and 9 layers of the underworld, each associated with specific deities and celestial objects like the sun, moon, and Venus. After the Spanish conquest, the Aztec people were compelled to convert to Catholicism, and their religion died. Shakerism. The Shakers are a millenarian restorationist Christian sect that originated in England and was later organized in the US during the 1780s. They were called Shaking Quakers due to their energetic movements during worship. This group practiced celibacy and communal living, rejecting sex as part of their beliefs. They embraced pacifism and gender equality, with women holding spiritual leadership alongside men. The Shakers gained fame for their high-quality furniture and commitment to simple living. They peaked in the mid-1800s with around 4,000 members. However, their vow of celibacy made it difficult to recruit new members, and by 1920 only 12 communities remained. Taking in orphans and the homeless didn't help either, and today only one Shaker village remains in Maine with just 2 members left. Baltic Finnic Paganism. This was a polytheistic religion practiced by the Baltic Finnic people, including the Finns, Karelians, Estonians and Wepsians. Evolving from shamanism, their faith involved the worship of the dead, sacred animals like the bear, and nature-based rituals such as rock paintings and pilgrimage to sacred woods for sacrifice. Their belief system included a concept of the soul with 3 parts: Henki, which is the life force, Luonto, which was the willpower, and Itse, which was the personality. They believed that both animate and inanimate objects had souls, and thought the world was created from the egg of a special duck. Their main deity was Ukko, the sky and thunder god. His feast day on April the 4th was one of their most important dates. Thunderstorms were believed to have been caused when Ukko slept with his wife Akka. By the early 20th century, Baltic Finnic paganism had largely disappeared due to Christianization. Orphism was an ancient Thracian and Greek religious movement centered on the teachings and hymns attributed to Orpheus, a mythical poet who famously descended into the Greek underworld and returned. The Orphics revered Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, and Persephone, the queen of the underworld. The central myth of Orphism is the suffering and death of Dionysus at the hands of the Titans. In this myth, the Titans kill and eat the infant Dionysus. In retribution, Zeus strikes the Titans with a thunderbolt, turning them to ash. From the ashes, humanity is born, inheriting its body from the Titans and its soul from Dionysus. Orphics believed that salvation could be achieved through a secret purification ritual that relived Dionysus' suffering. The faithful would spend eternity alongside Orpheus and other heroes after death in liberation, while the uninitiated would be reincarnated indefinitely. That's at least what they thought. Orphism influenced later philosophical thought and early Christianity, but it never became a dominant religion and eventually faded away. Olmec Religion. The religion of the Mesoamerican Olmec people thrived from 1400 BC until their decline around 400 BC in what is now the southern Gulf Coast of Mexico. The exact cause of their fall remains unclear, but volcanic activity is considered a likely reason. Without direct evidence of their religious practices, archaeologists draw comparisons with Mayan and Aztec religions. Closely linked to shamanism, the Olmecs possibly worshipped a jaguar god of rain and fertility, though some theories suggest they had 8 equally important gods. The Olmecs offered blood sacrifices and jade figures to their gods, combined with ritualistic dances and masks, while their priests likely used hallucinogenic substances to communicate with spirits. As one of the earliest Mesoamerican religions, the Olmec faith is considered a kind of mother culture to later Mesoamerican spiritual traditions. Celtic Paganism. This was the polytheistic religion of the ancient Celtic people of Europe around the 4th century BC. The Celts often worshipped in natural settings like groves and rivers, and they made votive offerings in water and wetlands. Celtic Druids served as religious leaders, legal authorities, and scholars. Key aspects of Celtic religion included the veneration of certain trees, sacred springs, and the triplicity theme seen in worship deities like the Three Mothers. The Celts celebrated seasonal festivals such as the beginning of winter, spring, summer, and harvest season. They also practiced animal sacrifice and believed in an afterlife. Some scholars even claim the Gauls sacrificed criminals by burning them in a wicker man. Following the Roman conquest of Gaul and southern Britain, the Celts gradually converted to Christianity from the 3rd century onward. Although the original Celtic paganism largely disappeared, it left a lasting influence and inspired modern Celtic neo-paganism. Etruscan Religion. The ancient Etruscan civilization in Italy had its own religion, profoundly shaped by Greek mythology. It was characterized by polytheism, where all natural phenomena were viewed as manifestations of divine power. The Etruscans believed their gods exerted continual influence on the world, and human actions could sway their favor or disfavor. Central to their belief was the conviction that the treatment of the deceased's remains determined one's prosperity in the afterlife. The scriptures, called Etrusca Disciplina, guided them in asking the gods questions and getting answers. This included rituals and methods for interpreting signs from the gods, which were integral to Etruscan decision-making in daily life. The pantheon of Etruscan deities was organized into 3 layers: indigenous gods associated with local traditions, elemental deities governing natural forces, and adopted Greek gods and heroes. Above all were the secretive veiled gods, which were never named. As the Etruscan civilization gradually merged with the Roman Republic starting in the 4th century BC, Etruscan religious beliefs were assimilated into Roman culture. Manichaeism. This was once a major world religion founded in the 3rd century AD by the Parthian prophet Mani in the Sasanian Empire. It revered Mani as the final prophet after Zoroaster, the Buddha, and Jesus Christ. The religion taught a dualistic cosmology depicting a struggle between a good, spiritual world of light and an evil, material world of darkness. Mani aimed to combine, succeed, and surpass the teachings of various world religions, including Christianity, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and ancient Mesopotamian beliefs. Manichaeism spread rapidly around the globe and thrived between the 3rd and 7th centuries, with churches from the Han dynasty in the east to the Roman Empire in the west. A key myth in Manichaeism is the creation story, which describes a battle between the world of light and the world of darkness, starting as separate realms. Adam and Eve were said to have been created by evil beings, while Jesus and Mani were created by good beings to reveal true spirituality to humanity. Manichaeism was briefly the main rival to early Christianity in the competition to replace classical polytheism before the spread of Islam. It faced persecution by the Roman state and the Chinese government until it was eventually eradicated. Ancient Mesopotamian religion. Ancient civilizations including Sumer, Akkad, Assyria, and Babylonia had their own beliefs from 6000 BC to around 400 AD. They all had a polytheistic religion with a belief in many deities and demons, both male and female, but also considered certain gods superior. Each nation often had a national god at the head of the pantheon, such as Enki and Enlil for Sumer, Ashur for Assyria, and Marduk for Babylon. There were an estimated 2,400 deities, often adopted in between the different nations. Mesopotamian gods resembled humans in form and behavior, but with higher degrees of perfection and immortality. They required food, could get drunk, and had human-like emotions. Initially, the pantheon was unordered, but later the deities got ranked by importance. With the rise of Babylon in the 18th century BC, King Hammurabi elevated Marduk to a supreme position alongside Anu and Enlil. Public devotions to the gods took place in ziggurats, while individuals also honored personal deities, though little is known about these practices. By around 400 AD, Mesopotamian religion had largely died out as its adherents became Assyrian Christians, but its influence persists in the modern world. Vedism. Vedism was the ancient religion of the Indo-Aryans, practiced in India around 1500 to 500 BC. It's considered the foundation of modern Hinduism, sharing the same sacred texts, the 4 Vedas, though there are key differences. Vedism was polytheistic, with gods divided into 2 categories: Devas, the gods of nature, and Asuras, the gods of moral concepts. Indra was the supreme god, and one popular myth tells of his battle with the children of Diti, the mother of demons. After Indra killed most of her children, Diti tried to make her last unborn son more powerful than Indra. Discovering this, Indra hurled a thunderbolt at her womb, creating 49 lesser demons from the unborn child. Key Vedic rituals included the soma, a sacred mysterious plant-based drink that was offered to the gods, but also specific fire rituals and horse sacrifice. The Vedic period ended around 500 BC when religions like Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism took over. Ājīvikism or Ajivika was a significant rival to Vedic religion, early Buddhism and Jainism, believed to have been founded in 5th century India. Ajivikas were mostly atheists who believed that in every living being is a true or eternal self, a central concept in Vedic religion and Jainism. They are best known for their fate doctrine, which holds that everything in life is predetermined by cosmic principles, leaving no room for free will. This belief in cosmic determinism led them to focus on astrology and fortune-telling. They also rejected the karma doctrine as a fallacy and developed an advanced theory of atoms way ahead of their time. Ājīvikism peaked during the rule of the Mauryan emperor Bindusara in the 4th century BC and gradually declined over the next 2000 years. It is believed that Ashoka the Great, the 3rd Mauryan emperor, persecuted them for their different views. Original Ajivika writings have been lost, and our understanding comes mainly from their critics. Despite this, Ajivika ideas influenced Buddhism and various Vedic schools of thought. Minoanism. The Minoan religion, practiced by the ancient inhabitants of Crete, was a polytheistic faith closely related to Near Eastern ancient religions, deeply connected to nature. It featured symbols like bull masks and horns, suggesting that the Minoans might have been engaged in rituals or contests similar to modern-day rodeos. The primary deity was a female nature mother goddess, making it one of the few matriarchal religions. While there were some male deities, they were usually of lesser importance. Unlike contemporary Egyptian, Mesopotamian and Syrian cultures, the Minoans did not center their religious practices around large public temples. Instead, their palaces and villas likely served as temples where religious rituals, including human sacrifices, were performed. They also used peak sanctuaries in the mountains and sacred caves for their rites. The Minoan religion largely disappeared after the late Bronze Age collapse in the 12th century BC. Atenism. Atenism was a monotheistic state religion in ancient Egypt founded by Pharaoh Akhenaten in the 14th century BC, lasting for about 20 years. It focused on the worship of Aten, depicted as the disk of the sun. Originally an aspect of Ra, Aten was asserted by Akhenaten to be superior to all other deities. Akhenaten persecuted the worship of other gods, closing traditional temples and constructing new ones dedicated only to Aten. He suppressed religious traditionalists and declared himself as the son of Aten, and then said he's the only one who can speak to him. Akhenaten's obsession with his new religion grew, especially after the death of his wife, Queen Nefertiti. However, after his death, subsequent pharaohs dismantled the Atenist movement, restoring Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion. Dini Ilahi, translating to God's religion, was an Indian religion started by the Mughal Emperor Akbar in 1582 AD. Although based on Islamic Sufism, Akbar's personal religion borrowed concepts from many other faiths in an effort to create a synthesis of beliefs. Akbar promoted religious tolerance and encouraged debates on philosophical and religious issues, leading to the creation of his house of worship in 1575, which welcomed people from all religious backgrounds. He concluded that no single religion could claim the monopoly of truth. Major practices and beliefs included the unity of God, absence of meat of all kinds, and non-violence, prohibiting followers from dining with butchers or hunters. The new religion angered many Muslims who declared it blasphemous to Islam. Dini Ilahi survived Akbar but was suppressed and eradicated by the 6th Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. The religion never had more than 19 adherents, making its eradication easier. In the 17th century, Aurangzeb's brother tried to revive the religion but was executed by his own brother. Yahwism. The religion of ancient Israel and Judah during the Iron Age was characterized by the worship of a pantheon of gods and goddesses. At the head of the pantheon was Yahweh, the national god of Israel, accompanied by the goddess Asherah as his consort. Other deities included Baal, Shamash, Yarik, Mot, and Astarte, each with their own priests and prophets. Their practices involved festivals, animal sacrifices, vows, and private rituals. Key annual festivals were Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Over time, particularly by the end of the Babylonian captivity, Yahwism transitioned from polytheism to monotheism. This shift led to the development of Second Temple Judaism in the 4th century BC and the end of ancient Yahwism. Hittite religion. The Hittites, an ancient Indo-European civilization that flourished in Anatolia, which is modern-day Turkey, during the Bronze Age, practiced their own unique religion. They worshipped a diverse pantheon of gods and goddesses. Their religion included both indigenous deities and gods borrowed from neighboring cultures like the Hurrians, though their creation myth remains unknown. Rituals were not regularly scheduled but performed in response to challenges or significant events, often at ritual pits to commune with underworld gods. Some prominent Hittite deities included the weather god Tar-Hunt, the sun goddess Vurusemu, and the mother goddess Hana-Hana. The Hittite Empire and their religion eventually declined in the 12th century BC due to invasions and internal strife. Subscribe to our channel to support us and check out our video on current world religions to dive deeper into the topic. Thanks for watching.